Let's do this.
Welcome back, family. And Robert, you are right. This is getting completely nuts with the Ultimate Spider-Man. Because we are here to look at the CovrPrice top 10 for this week. It is a new list that just popped up March 11th, 2024. Wow. I hope everybody has had a great weekend. We're back to work. Yay. And if everybody gets a chance, when you all go to heaven, smack Benjamin Franklin in the back of the head for making daylight savings time. That's all I got to say. I hate springtime. Anyway, yes, we are going to jump into this list. And just as let's see. First off, first one up on the list. Yes, we have 25 Perez. TTM, how are you doing? Welcome to the show, Robert. As I said, what's up? And yes, it is. I saw that it hit $100 for a raw. Nuts. And okay, Singapore, who will be top 10 this week? Well, all you, my favorite coconuts are the top 10. How was the wedding? Wedding was excellent. It really, really was. I will try to get some pictures so I can show it on New Comic Book. New Comic Book Day. I'll get a little screen with a couple of pictures to show. I was wearing my suit with a bow tie. Let me tell you, with a suit with a bow tie, man, I look like a bouncer. The wedding went very well. I got to walk my friend down the aisle and have a father-daughter dance, which we've known each other for a long time. And I known her when she was at her low points, and I'm not taking any credit for getting for her where she is. She did it on her own. I was just there to lend any help I could, but she had to do the work. And we went up for the father-daughter dance. We both kind of like walked up like, all right, so I don't know what we're going to do here. And, just whatever. And then the guy started playing Butterfly Kisses, which I never liked the song, but yeah, we both kind of lost it. I'm very, very happy for her, and I wish her all the happiness in the world, and him too, of course. So anyway, we are going to jump into the list and get this rolling right away. And we have coming in at number 10 on the list is the Edge of Spider-Verse, number 1. This is still hanging around here. First appearance and cover of Weapon 8. I see that it says current trend is up 3%, which is really nothing if you think about it. So if it was $10, it's now $10.30 on average. You see the near mint selling for the last sale was for 14, but a mint was also for 14. So about $14. This had to be a pre-sale for 75, which is also the last sale for a 9.8, which is really not that bad. It's still not like Spider-Boy was going for like 130 at this point. But to me, it's just another Spider villain. And I think in 2 months, we're going to be like, wait, Weapon, it was 8, right? Was it Weapon 8? Yeah, I can't remember his name because nobody cares about him anymore. So not really that enthused about it. Coming in at number 9, this one's a new one to the list and interesting as well. The Ultimate X-Men number 1 in 25 variant, and I kind of like the art on it. It's not Momoko, but it is kind of it uses a Momoko color palette, I guess you'd say. It does look very watercolory. It says AKA. I don't know if that's the artist's initials or actual name, but it's a 1 in 25 that's only selling for $16. And that just shows you how many Ultimate X-Men were ordered. That they're not even getting a ratio variant for a 1 in 25. The store has probably got, bought 100 copies, got 4 of these things, and nobody's wanting it. Current trend is down 10%. The highest sale for it, somebody paid 40. I get February 10th, so they ordered it in advance. But it looks like $16 to $18 for near mint, 9.0 to 10.0 raw graded reported conditions, which again is not terrible. 1 in 25s, I think the cheapest I've ever seen any of them go for is like $10. So even if it's going to go down it's not going to go down a lot. I think if it was going to take off, it would have already. But it's not terrible. Coming in at number 8, we have Pearl, number one. This is the regular Michael Gatos who did the art for it. And this is one of three different titles that is from uh, DC, sorry, that is, I believe, been optioned. This is a Michael Bendis, wasn't it? Yeah, this is a Bendis book. I think there's three different titles that have been optioned to be made into TV series. Um, it already shows the current trend is down 9%. So even though it did get optioned, it's already starting to die down, and we're still at least a year and a half to 2 years away from it being anything. So if you want to pick up a copy of number one for last sales, $8 for a near men's, 15 for a 9.6 to 10.0, and last sale of a 9.8 was 90, which is also the highest known value. If not too many of these books, I guarantee you, were graded in the first place. The fact that it's only selling for $75 to $90 in a 9.8, there's already very limited interest in it. Canadian Survivalists, how you doing? Welcome to the show. People are going to be pulling these out of their boxes and sending them in. So give it 2 months and there'll be a lot more of these on the market in a 9.8 and a lot less people that are interested in it. So you're going to be able to pick this one up for $50. So I wouldn't grab this one right now. The iron is hot. You do not want to strike it. Coming in at number 6 on the list, Ultimate Universe number 1. This has the first cameo appearance of May Storm, which is the character that Peach Momoko is drawing. And it's the last page for 2 panels. And let's see, we have the Raws going for 30 to 32. Last sale of a 9.8 was 125. Highest known value 150. This is already starting to die down a little bit, 1.51% down. I think next week you're going to see a little bit more of a drop. And this book did not come out this year like all the other Ultimate ones. This one came out in, was it late November, early December last year? So actually November 1st. So it's been around already for 5 months, but only took off because of everything that happened with Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Black Panther, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate. So this is the flavor of the week, and this is the lowest of them. This will be the first. This was the last one to go up in value. It'll be the first one to come back down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We have coming in at number 6. Another book that's been on the list for a couple of weeks now, The Edge of Spider-Verse, number 1, surprise. First appearance of Weapon 8. I think this one is a lower print one. I don't think it's a ratio, but I think it was maybe a one a store variant, one per store. I'm not exactly sure. I keep forgetting to look it up. I'm sorry. It is up a little bit less than 1%. Last recorded sale for a raw was 25. Highest known for a raw 250. That can't be right. It just can't be right. That's got to be for some other variant. Remember that their information that they pull from all the sales is only as accurate as the listing is. So if somebody typed in the wrong information for the listing, their CovrPrice's computers are going to pull it in. Besides interested in reading the new Ultimate books and asked if he could borrow mine, I looked at him like he lost his mind. Well, I mean, you can get one of the 4th prints or 5th prints or something like that, but or if nothing else, you could just go online, You lost your mind. Wait till they drop in price first. Now, I'll give you a little story. A long time ago, a friend of mine had a comic book baseball card store in Greenwich Village in New York. And the weekend before his grand opening, he's setting everything up. He's putting books on the wall, cards in the showcases. And he looks over and he sees me sitting on a little stool reading a comic book. Squints his eyes. What book are you reading? I look at what's in Fantastic Four number 1. He's what? Why are you reading that? Read a reprint. I'm like, I don't want to read a reprint. I want to read the original. He's like, what have you damaged it? I said, then I'll buy it from you. It was a lot cheaper then than it is now. I could have afforded it then. I wish I did. Uh, it was the name of it was called Cards for Me. It was only open for about 10 months. It was about a block from NYU. But yeah, he wanted to kill me. So if anybody's into Magic the Gathering, I put it in time perspective. That was when the Magic the Gathering set Ice Age came out. That Ice Age was new when his store was there. So way back. All right, so we have hit the top five, and this is where I want to take a quick break and say thank you so much to our Patreon members and our YouTube members for all the support that you give to the channel. We're looking at getting our next uh, get together, and I asked a question on our poll, by the way, for Patreon members. Um, for it looks like the 16th may have an interference with one of the members, but a couple of people put the 16th. I just asked the people that put the 16th, is the 23rd also viable? So if you get a chance, please go on and take a look at that. But in the meantime, let me take this moment to say thank you. Was that loud enough for you? uh, you guys will get used to lowering the volume at the halfway point, that's for sure. All right, let's move on to number 5. We have Spawn number 1 coming back onto this list, and it would help if I showed you the screen. Yeah, Spawn number 1 is back on the list, and the question is, what is the important thing? And I don't see any breaking news, but what I do see is that on the 5th, last week, a 9.9 sold, and it sold for $3,720. Now you look up here, a 9.9 sold in 2021 for $10,000. So the 9.9 has dropped 62%, 62.5%. Wow. I'm assuming, I don't know, but I'm assuming that the 2021, there may have been, say, one or two 9.9s, and now there's more. I don't know the census, but just the fact that it's sold immediately is going to get everybody's attention. At which point now, oh yeah, Spawn, always wanted to buy one. Sales go up, hits the hot list. It's a book that will forever be there. So, number 4. Ultimate X-Men number 1. This week's just came out last week, and it's one of the possible books for the winner of this week's New Comic Book Day giveaway. If you haven't entered yet, make sure you watch last Wednesday's giveaway, New Comic Book Day video, and like, subscribe, and drop a comment on it to be entered into winning the choices for the comic books, one of which is an Ultimate X-Men number 1. But if you do see, though, current trend down 12.5% in a week. Last recorded sale, $6 for a raw. So I think that the stores have finally gotten wise, and everybody got wise and ordered enough copies. So if you've got Ultimate Spider-Man and there's 10,000 copies and 30,000 people want them, there's a much bigger demand than there is supply. If now the stores are realizing it, so they ordered 40,000 copies. There's a copy for everybody. The supply and demand equalize, and now prices don't move. But somebody did pay a raw $20 on February 17th. I guess they pre-ordered it, which they could have just went on a previews guide and pre-ordered it through their LCS for free. I mean, for cover price, but whatever. I think this book is just going to stay right there at cover price, maybe even go down a little bit. And let's see, are there any variants that really stood out? Well, we had that 1 in 25, which you saw already is going for less than ratio. And none of the other, when any of the other variants are really doing anything crazy. So I'm not saying it's a bad book. I'm just saying it was printed enough to meet demand, so the price is not moving on it. But it is just based on volume on your top 10 list. Coming in at number 3, Ultimate Black Panther, number 1, down 7% since last week. And it is already dropped down. 133 was a high point for a CGC 9.8. Last sale for 9.8 now, 73. Okay. So in less than a month, it's almost half price on the 9.8s. I'm sure people fast track those. We have the near mints selling for 28, 9.6 to near mint plus. There we go. Near mint plus selling for 9.8. Near mint regular selling for 21. Instantly, I paid 25 just to make sure I had them for the show. It's still more than cover price, but I think that this book is still going to retreat a little bit further. I think it's going to wind up settling for 12 to 15 for a raw, and probably around the 55 to $60 mark for a 9.8. So if you haven't gotten it yet and you want to just hang out a little bit, I wouldn't recommend against it. I do see though that there is this one was on the lists before, and it's not on the list now. Maybe it's on the honorable mentions, but the Boss Logic one has also dropped a little bit in price. The raws are going for 21, and the 9.8s are 66. What a hot commodity that one was. But in any event, this book is retreating a little bit, which we kind of figured it would. Of course, one of the books that is not retreating, as was pointed out by Robert in the beginning of the show, coming in at number 2, Ultimate Spider-Man, number 1, your cover A. And again, I'm so happy that I pre-ordered 2 and gave one away on New Comic Book Day. I don't look at it as I gave away $100. I look at it that I gave away $4.99. Lord knows I made enough other bad choices in my life with different books. But the funny thing is, if you look at the other books that are on here, okay, no change, up 1%, down 1%. Where's that? Yeah, the J. Scott Carpenter one that everybody loves is down 2%, going for $14 for a raw. I think what happened on this book was everybody just assumed the cover A was going to be a high print. And since there were so many different covers, people just went and ordered their favorite cover and said, the heck with the cover A. And I think stores also realized that they're usually stuck with a bunch of cover A's. So they didn't order. And it was the perfect storm where everybody wanted to get it. And just not enough were ordered and or printed. So this book is now $100 for a raw. Last recorded sale, $100 for a raw. And let's get back down to here. $250 for a 9.8. The last sale of the 9.8 was $203. It's funny. I see last sale $100, but then over here I see last sale 87, 85. It's still they're paying more for a raw than people were paying for a 9.8 slabbed Spider Boy first appearance. So this book is just holding on. I still think in the long run this is going to come down a little bit. That being said, if it's all going down, new books. Yeah. But Larry, I agree, but there has to be there has to be the exceptions that will maintain their value. And maybe this will be one of the few books of 2024. So who knows? I mean, if the storyline turns out to be really, really great and Sony makes a separate movie about it or they make a TV show about it, then this book is really going to go nuts. And coming in at number 1 spot, we have the Ultimate Spider-Man number 2, the cover A. And this is also down a little bit, now down about 1%. It's the full in-story appearance of Earth 6160, Spider-Man and Shocker. We've got the Raws selling for 10, 11, 12-ish. So about double price. Somebody paid $20 on February 25th for one. Hopefully they got free shipping with that. Even long-term value books have initial FOMO highs. Yes. But what I'm trying to say, though, is do I think that Ultimate Spider-Man #1 is going to be $100 book in 6 months? No. Do I think it'll be a $10 book? Uh-uh. I think it's gonna settle back down, but it's still gonna hold a very significant amount of value. So, do I think #2 is gonna hold value? No. Because #2 was, already people were getting this and picking it up when they saw how quickly #1 disappeared. So, remember when #1 hits the stands, #2 is on the final order cutoff, usually that same week. So if your stores are all sold out and you bought a different one and you liked it, and you saw people selling on eBay, and people probably got online and said, Leah, give me 5 copies of #2 or 10 copies of #2. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that would love to have 10 copies in mint condition of Something is Killing the Children #2 if they could pay cover price for it. So I think this one, though, is going to settle back down a little bit, probably to right about cover price or what do you call it, slightly above. I don't think it's ever going to take off. If in some way, shape, or form they do bring Earth 6160 Spider-Man and or Shocker into the 616, then 1 and 2 can really take off, one more than anything else. All right. So that is our top 10 list for today. And uh, I have to now make my 2 picks. What picks are they? I have my gun to the head pick and my rubber band to the butt. So my gun to the head pick is if I had to purchase one of these books at current prices, whether slab or raw, I have to distinguish which one of these do I think I has the best chance for return on investment, whether it be going up or which of these 10 books is going to go down the least. And at this market right now, I would probably go and get the Ultimate X-Men 1 in 25. I'm not a ratio fan. However, Ultimate X-Men #1, 1 in 25 for half of ratio, $16 for a top grade. Uh, Spawn #1 is a great book to have, but not when it's on the top 10. You know that book is definitely that book is definitely up, down, up, down, up, down. Right now it's in the up. Give it 2 weeks, it'll be down. Or a month. Wait for it to go down. Then you could, if you things like Spawn, first appearance of the Midnight Suns, uh, Dazzler. You know, there are certain books that just go perennially up and down, and you could play them like penny stocks. You know, so at least I don't know if there's any books that are on this list that would be 6 months from now that are going to be any higher than they are. But I think I would be minimizing my losses by buying a raw condition Ultimate X-Men #1. I buy what I can get high grade for 25 or less. Yes, but there's so many of them, that's I don't get a chance to get the shows anymore. So that is my gun to the head pick. My gun to the head pick. Larry already said that he wants to Spawn. Now, what book do I think is the one that is going to drop the most? The one that is the worst possible pick out of these? I mean, I could say Pearl because it's just too hot news right now, and it's definitely going to drop down. It'll go up in the long term, but if they make the show, and the show was good. Uh no, I'm gonna go with the Edge of Spider-Verse. Wrong one. Sorry. There we go. The Edge of Spider-Verse surprise. We still have raw books selling for 30, 39. And I just think that this is going to be one of those books in a year you're going to look at it on the list, go, why did I buy this book? Why was this there? Whether it's the cover A or the surprise, I just don't think that it's going to hold any kind of value. I don't think the villain is going to be anything long term. They've had better villains in this that have died out. And personally, I just have no faith in it. So, oh, don't want to click that. I almost clicked on the button to remove me. Ah, so what do you think, Larry? What's the worst pick on this list? You can't say Spawn again. By the way, Larry, did you happen to notice that there was a X-Men 130 facsimile on the Final Order cutoff list this week? So that is where I stand. Now, one of the real fun thing that I want to try to say is okay, so you can say Spawn again. Prove me wrong. Rosario Dawson is doing a signing, and I had picked up a certain book that I'm like, I'm going to buy that. Hopefully, CGC does a signing. It's CBCS. And I thought, no, but the price is not bad. I think it's like $125 if you send in your own book. And I specifically picked up, I think this was a Star Wars Insider, the foil one. I'm like, I've got to get that and have her sign it in like white marker right down here would be fantastic. For her white lightsabers. But CBCS, really? But I got to make a decision because I got to mail it off. They have to receive it by the 22nd. So I got to make sure I get it out of here this week. Yay. All right, guys, I am going to wrap this up. I want to thank you so much for joining. And at the end of this video, I will be putting that Patreon thing back up again. So you guys better get used to getting that volume. I'll try to see if I can re-record that as a lower volume version. I don't want to kill you. Is she going to do a CGC signing? Is she? I don't know. And also, if she does, is CGC going to do like they do with Ewan McGregor and charge like $350 or whatever the heck it was? I got it, I got it, but I don't want to, pay $400 for a signature if I can get it for $125. They all do eventually. Not Mark Hamill. Anyway, well, that would be a sold out event real quick. All right, guys. So I'm going to say thank you so much for joining. Don't forget, though, to click on like, subscribe, click on those notifications so you know when more videos are dropping. Wednesday, new comic book day. We'll be picking a winner for last week's books and showing you the books that will be given away this week, as well as showing you the books that I pick up. So it's another live stream here at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard on Wednesday, every Wednesday. I've got a nice little selection here that right after this, I'm going to record my, what do you call it? Mail call video, which will be dropping for YouTube members first. They'll get the premiere on that. And also on Wednesday, I will be doing the watch along for the Patreon members for Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 6. Oh, Episode 5 was so good. So good. Try to have a lot of fun here. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Until I do, mahalo.